All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome back our most occurring guest, one of our favorite guests. He's back for, I don't even know, the 10th, 11th, 12th time. You can find him on Twitter at Dom_Frederic. He's the director of morale, your NL Central champion Chicago Cubs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Dom Frederic. Fred, how we doing tonight, my man? The Cubs are
Doing
in the
great.
playoffs, baby.
I'm doing great. I love joining you guys. This has been what was the first time I came on this show?
Oh,
Honestly,
over
it's been
two
like
years ago, I
Wait,
think.
I can look it up.
a
I have
while ago.
I have
It's
the
been a
SoundCloud.
Zach, because I
oh
think
yeah,
that was
back in the old SoundCloud days.
Zach. That was like Zach. Was that before you went to the media school?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was before that. Yeah, a while ago. Anyways, yes, I'm very happy to be here. NL Central champs. It's not something that should be taken lightly, considering a lot of teams today can't say they won their division. That doesn't mean it's the end goal, but it's a little notch in the belt for this year at least, and it should be appreciated, and everyone should be thankful for it. So, feeling good. I'm very happy to be here and excited to talk with you guys again.
Love having you, man. Love having you. So let's jump right into it. The Cubs will be starting on Wednesday versus the Marlins. What are your initial reactions? What do you take away? What do we look forward to playing a Marlins team that probably nobody expected to be in the playoffs when this thing started a couple months ago?
Yeah, I'll admit straight up that I haven't really done my due diligence or research on the Marlins. Obviously, a great year for them though, considering their COVID fiasco at the beginning of the season. Everyone was going to write them off, literally writing them off, or just saying kick them out of the league, and there was
Yeah.
no difference. And here we are. We're playing them in the first round of the playoffs, a round of a series of best of three, and it's going to be. I mean, I don't care who you. Honestly, I know I say it all the time. I don't care who we play, but in general, it really doesn't matter who you play. It's just another series. Granted, you always want to win a series during the regular season, but we all know whether it be the Pirates or it be whoever you play, all those games are close, man. And now that it's the playoffs, it's October. You got the October breeze coming in off the lake at Wrigley. It can't be taken lightly. I won't take it lightly. It doesn't mean I'm not confident about this team at all, but you got to ride in October. You got to grind it out. And, I'll just say about the Cubs, like, listen, man, I'm super proud of this team. Granted, was it all dandy and all great throughout the whole season? Gumdrops and rainbows throughout the whole year? No way. But, listen, they got off to that great start. They powered through. The middle of the year, it was rough, and they just kind of chipped away. Listen, you got Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Willie, my backstop, struggling. Schwarber still scuffling their way through, but now it doesn't matter. It was the first thing I said when we talked about this year. You have to throw stats at the window, especially now when you're in the postseason. Now it's just all about grit. It's just all about coming together. It's all about just playing good baseball. Just throwing everything out the window and letting it ride. That's why you ride in October, and I'm super excited about it. I think over the past week, the receipts I've been throwing out, people get mad.
Yes.
People are getting mad that I'm literally calling them out for things they are saying, and it just blows my mind when you got people that are saying that this team is trash, this team should pack it up, this team's done, this team isn't it. And then the next day they're like Central Division champs, exclamation point, exclamation point. I don't understand. I mean, this is baseball. This isn't basketball. This isn't Tiger Woods PGA Tour golf when he was the best guy on tour. And you just know, like, if it wasn't Tiger, no one else is winning. No, this is competition. This is competitive athletics. This is what you watch. This is why you roll out the balls and play these goddamn games. Is for stuff like this. And the fact that people fold like a freaking tent all the time, and you got Wilbons who they have no backbone. And it's just like unbelievable. And the longer I've been doing this, again, this is my 7th year talking about stuff on Twitter, doing this every single day, 365 days a year. You guys follow. You know how it goes. I'm doing it. I'm all Cubs all the time, 365 days a year. And just the longer and longer I've been doing it, the more and more ridiculous people are talking about. They're just not appreciative of it. I know I'm going on this early tangent. I normally do these at the end of the podcast. I'm just right off the top because it's five playoff seasons out of the 6 years we've been in this competitive window, and people are still goddamn complaining about it. It is absurd. Be thankful that you're even here, because I'm telling you, there are 25 other franchises that do not even sniff this type of success or prolonged run of success. They don't even sniff it at all. So be thankful for it, and I am 34 wins. I'll take it. It could have been more, obviously, but hey, man, what are we, the 3 seed?
Yeah, I think we are the 3 seed.
We're the 3 seed in the competitive window. We just won the division. We have the chance to play the Marlins to start off the season. Start off the postseason.
I love it. Already overachieved in the regular season. I don't know how it's going to go over into the postseason. But like you said, in a weird season, when the Cubs were struggling, it could have gone south quickly, and they kept it all together, won the division, and I'm ready for this playoffs to start. But, Dom, what are we looking at for the rotation going forward in the playoffs?
Well, I think, and I've heard, someone might have tweeted out, but I think it's going to be Kyle the first.
I think they even said it after the game the other night that it's going to be Hendricks, Darvish, and then they don't know who else after that.
And then probably let John Lester Reams. Listen, Kyle Hendricks, it speaks for himself. Bad news. You guys know.
I'm wearing the shirt.
On this podcast. I was coming on this podcast for how many years? It's been 2 to 3 years, and I told you guys, Yu Darvish is an ace. He is.
Yep.
At the time I wasn't saying it, but essentially what I was meaning was he is bad news. When he is on, he is bad news, and it came to fruition this year. Came to fruition last year. People still wanted to brush it off like, no, it wasn't real, and he absolutely shoved it down people's faces all year long. I would take a bullet for the guy. He's my favorite Cub. It goes him and Schwarber, teeter, they hang in the balance between who's number one. Obviously, 2 morale athletes, 2 guys.
That tweet was awesome, amazing.
Two guys. Thank you. 2 guys that I take a bullet for. And listen, man, I love having those 2 guys at the front of the rotation. I love that Bert is coming out and shoving the fact that he's going to be in the rotation next year. He might even get a spot starting the playoffs.
That stuff looked nasty today.
He shut down the White Sox today. He's been pitching really well. I don't know why you wouldn't. He's 95-96 with a nasty changeup. He's got this new slider. He's obviously got the curveball. He's got a little bit of a run on the 2-seamer. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for other than that. I mean, that's pretty much how good big league starters look, and he's proven it. So, and then you finally have John Lester Reams. You have the guy who just is going to grind it out. Obviously, he didn't have his best performance yesterday, but listen, man, when it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to games on the line, especially if we're facing a lefty-based lineup, then let's go with it. And, we'll see how it plays, but Lester deserves to get those starts. And but I'm going to take it one game at a time. I think everything's really fluid. All we have to do is focus on game 1 and get that, get that squared away, and then we'll move on from there.
Yeah, I just feel like you would it would kind of be tough not to put him out there in big games, just the way he's big game John, and he's been there for us since we started this little run here, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Fred, you talk a lot about best 9. Is the best 9 set for the playoffs, or is there any wiggle room at some different positions like second base and different spots in the outfield right now?
That's a good question. I think that, this year it really hasn't been about the best 9, just because – granted, I think the best 9 has had a lot of opportunities. It's come down to a lot of guys just struggling overall. I don't really have very staunch opinions about it this year, honestly. I don't. It's whatever the matchup is, that might be it's definitely a change of tune for me. I still believe in the best 9, obviously, and that's the way you should go about it long term. But this year I don't really have so much of a preference. I just want – obviously I want our best players to be in there, but if it is Kipnis, if it is Nico, I prefer a little bit more Nico just because of the contact rate and because of the different things he can do for the offense. You guys all know, we could have Alvaro Moore in there. He can make all the contact he wants, but if it's not productive contact, if he can't produce overall as a hitter, it doesn't really matter. So, I'd love for Nico to have a great October where he can, get some doubles and obviously get some hits and then, work some walks and really provide the contact that this team needs in specific situations. Other than that, I mean, I love Billy Hamilton coming off the bench. I love him being a guy who can steal a base. That might be a little different change of tune for me, but overall, I mean, Cameron Maven's done really well. I think we're going to see Wilson in there all the time besides with bad news. I just think the biggest thing is this team just needs to continue the momentum, continue feeling good, continue having the confidence, continue to be strong-willed during these tough games, and so do the fans. Because it's not easy. You got to ride in October, and this isn't basketball. This isn't LeBron James going to his 10th NBA Finals. This is just a lot of the time it's a coin toss, and it's just who's gonna get the hits with base runners on, and who's gonna make the one play and things like that. And that's why you ride it out, and I'm really excited for it.
And this Cubs team is so experienced in the playoffs and working together as a team that in a series, I will take them 10 times out of 10 because there is just I don't know if there's anybody in here that it's their first time in the playoffs. Maybe Adbert if he's on the roster or whatever, but other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about these other teams and these pressure situations, it's going to hit them a little bit different, and that's why I do think with the Cubs, and again, it's not an excuse, it really isn't. But I just think when you're with a group of guys for so long, and you've been doing this and grinding out these Septembers, and this has been the first September where kind of, granted, it has been a little bit rocky, but they ended up winning the division, and I mean, credit to them. They could have folded this weekend after the Pirates series. They could have easily gotten swept. Mm-hmm. I mean, the White Sox are a really good team. I know White Sox fans, they think I'm public enemy number one. I'm really not. They're a really good team. They have good pitching. They have really good bullpen arms. They got a really athletic young core that can hit. And the Cubs could have easily gotten swept this weekend, but they came out firing, man. Especially when you have a guy like, and I know I just sang his praises like a couple minutes ago, but like when you have a rookie on the mound like Bert, I mean, it easily could have gone sideways, and for these guys to continue to push it forward and get through the mundane of every single year and every single August and September, it can wear on you, right? It's like things don't become new. It's just like you feel like you got this monkey on your back because you won, and now you have to try to one-up yourself, and it can be tiresome. It can be draining, and I just think this has been kind of like the first time where they're kind of picking it back up again. They're not feeling like they have to make excuses about anything. It's kind of this new thing. At least that's the way I see it. The Wilbons and the Tents out there that are always holding on to different things, and literally it's a disappointment from now until all these guys retire that they only won one World Series championship between 2015 and 2019. That wears on a lot of people, but I think if this team, they can just put that aside, move forward, take one game at a time. I think it can go really well, but we got to, again, like I said, you got to take it one game at a time, and I'm just excited to watch. I'm very, very thankful to watch this team and how they've gone about it, because I know there are so many other teams that, and their fans that just grind and they love their teams, and they never have the chance to do the things the Cubs have done. And I don't take that for granted at all.
And the day the Cubs have no pressure, they have nothing to play for, they go out and score 10 runs, and it's just a nice little motivation into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just and especially with the lineup they had out here today. But credit to those guys, man. They're grinding. They're just getting it done. And I just wish more people would appreciate that, and it wasn't this just this freaking elitist mentality and this country club mentality where if you're not first, you're just automatically last, and they can't appreciate the overall success in a franchise or in these players. But again, that's here nor there. It's something that I'll never understand. I'll just keep receding people, and people can keep getting mad when I just call them out for their own goddamn tweets. You said it, not me. You said it.
Right.
Anyways.
But we
Right,
were
for
kind
sure.
of saying with experience, though, when Wilson Contreras flipped that bat and the White Sox got mad about it or whatever, he said, I knew my team needed to turn the swagger back on, and they know when to get going. And I think that they're really starting to make a push here in this last series because they know, the playoffs are right around the corner and we got to get going.
Yeah, man, it's again, you're playing with these guys. It gets mundane. It gets bogged down.
The same guy, the same teams over and over.
Same team over and over. You got to field the same questions from these reporters that hate this team to begin with, and it wants to run with the negative narratives to begin with. I mean, think about it. If someone let's just think about this. Okay, I'll say it from my perspective, and for someone who does have a lot of haters out there, for someone who people don't like when someone says something bad about you, you're going to see it one way or another, whether it be in a couple days, couple weeks, couple months. You'll eventually see it, and you'll be aware of that people hate or really don't appreciate what you do. Imagine being a baseball player and having to read all this stuff from the media, from the fans, from opposing teams' medias, from national media, all this type of stuff. And they got to keep going through it, and they got to keep showing up. Granted, they're millionaires. They're living an awesome life. They're set for all this types of stuff. But it's the human element of just this getting worn down and beaten down mentally, and then the physical toll of playing 162 games or whatever, how many games they played this year and how many days. That stuff is real, and it's why teams don't go back to back to back. It's why the Dodgers have these awesome teams and still haven't been able to get over the hump, and all these different types of things. Why the New York Yankees are struggling this year to just make it back in the playoffs. All of these different types of things. It's a human element, and people just think these guys are robots, and I just think it's totally inconsiderate, and it really just shows that you've never played the game, and that you've never really taken the time to either learn from someone who played the game, played higher up, minor leagues, maybe the major leagues, whatever it is. Talk to people that really know what they're talking about. You just have never taken the time to do that and educate yourself and empathize with someone who has been through it before and understands what it takes, all these different types of things. And you just think these guys are just machines, and it's just a microwave that you press 30 seconds and your meal's going to be done, all cooked and ready to go, just right there. And that's how it's going to be for all these years the Cubs are together. It's not it. It's not it. These guys are humans. They got to go through all these different types of stuff. And to your point, Zach, the human element of just really being we need a bat flip. We need to get the momentum going again. Our guys are, squandering away these opportunities. I need to get the morale going, all this different types of stuff. Stuff I'm always talking about. I think people don't appreciate that, and they don't see that it's tough for these guys. And granted, I said it before, they're millionaires. They have awesome lives, but the human element shouldn't be. They've
never played baseball like this. They're playing in an empty stadium, or whatever. It's not a normal season, and they're
absolutely.
They're keeping it. They kept it moving into the playoffs. So
and I just want to make this one last point. It's not an excuse. I'm not making an excuse saying, it's just they have it so hard. It's why they haven't won, or haven't gotten back to a World Series since 2016. It's not an excuse. It's simply reality. It's simply reality that these teams have a tough time repeating or getting back or getting over the hump or getting back in the playoffs, winning divisions, all these different types of stuff because of all the variables that are in place. It's just reality. That's objectivity. That's not any opinions. It's just the reality of it. And people need to take the time to educate themselves and empathize with how all the franchises, all 30 franchises go through the ups and downs through decades and decades of good teams, bad teams, like inconsistent things, all this type of stuff, because it's real. It's objective.
For sure. You guys both made great points talking about how veteran led this team is, but you have mentioned some of the younger guys and guys that don't experience. So is there anything we can expect out of like Adbert Alzolay? In this, obviously, Braylon Marquez gets the call up today. Can we expect anything out of those younger guys that might not have the experience, you think, coming into the
season? You mentioned offseason. Do you mean offseason or do you mean postseason?
Postseason. My bad.
No, you're good. I mean, I don't see why Bert can't come in and either, whether it be, you get to a game 5 or whatever it is, or you get in long relief or whatever the case may be, why Bert can't be an X factor arm in the bullpen. I don't think I'm going on a crazy limb by saying that. Like,
right.
He has very good stuff. He's pitched in very big games. Granted, today was the division. The division was locked up, but it's still a big game. It's still a big game when you're facing a White Sox lineup that's as good as they are. And he proved it.
And it's still the Sox. It's still the White Sox.
It's the White Sox. Exactly. It's like, they're big games. And so I don't see why Bert can't be an X factor, a guy who can come in and throw big innings in the postseason and be a starter next year. I mean, that's the way I see it trending. Braylon, I'm pushing Braylon a little bit hard. I mean, I know he's probably not going to be ready, next year as a starter. In terms of, the postseason, I don't know. You get a big lead. I don't see why you can't throw him in there for an inning. See what happens, man. I mean, he had a little bit of nerves today, but listen, man, he's a 21-year-old facing a really good lineup as a big leaguer, and a guy that, an international player that hasn't seen the bright lights necessarily here in America. I think as Americans, you just forget that there's all these players that come from different parts of the world, and they just aren't used to either different settings. Granted, there were no fans in the stands, but it's something brand new for the guy. And he's 21 years old.
That could have made it even weirder.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different, man. And credit to him, even though it probably didn't go the way he wanted it to go. I mean, he's got a massive arm. It's smooth. It's from the left side, all these different types of stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see about Braylon, but in terms of Bert, I absolutely see him being an X factor. And I'm not trying to downplay Braylon's skill or talent.
It's just he's young.
You
want to throw that in there during the playoffs. But with the playoffs, it's been all right throughout the season. They've been pumping in crowd noise, but during the playoffs, I mean, I went to a Cubs game when they played the Nationals. I think that would have been like 2018. I went to Wrigley Field, and I mean, it's just so different. Or maybe it was 2017. It was just so game? Different because I mean, the place is rocking. It's just it has to make the players more pumped up, and the sound, the crowd noise sound, it can only do so much.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredibly interesting to see how it all plays out. I think. I don't know. I think I'm not in the situation or scenario these players are in. I can just imagine though, with no fans in the stands and no momentum coming from the fans or the atmosphere outside the field, I would think the dugouts are gonna just be full of morale. I mean, kind of what you've thought about, kind of what you've seen throughout this whole 60-game season, why the Cubs are getting criticized for being, chirping or whatever it was. I don't see where that's going to change. I think that's going to be pretty consistent. Guys trying to get their own energy up, morale, all this different types of stuff. Again, different, but I am interested to see on how the postseason atmosphere is going to be without fans.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be totally different because it's just like you said. You hit a home run in a playoff game, and I mean the place just goes nuts, and that has to do something for the opposing team or whatever. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. Absolutely.
I'm excited for how are they going to do that? Are they going to be? How are they doing the playoffs? There's no way they're going to be traveling down to Florida, will they?
No, the first round is at the higher seed, and then I just had it here. The NL bubble is NLDS game will be in Arlington and Houston. The ALDS games will be in Diego and LA. NLCS at the Rangers, and the ALCS at San Diego, and then the World Series at the Rangers.
That will be weird. Playing a game in a stadium that neither team is the home team, really.
It will be weird, but it's going to be
it's fun.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be fun.
Better than no baseball.
Yeah, kind of 2020 in a nutshell, except not really the fun part. But I'm very thankful for everything that's going on. So, yeah, we'll see, man. I'm just excited. I'm just excited that we get to see postseason baseball and that this team can continue its journey to win another championship.
So
really
true.
happy.
Postseason baseball is just something different. I don't know what it is, but like especially with this rotation and this team, you know that they'll be able to get up for it, and like I said, the experience is there.
Listen, man. I know I say it a lot. And I know I'm not trying to do the shtick or anything. It's just different here. It's just different. Getting up every morning. I don't live super far from the ballpark. Just waking up in the morning, getting in my car, driving to work, especially walking out of my apartment. You got that little chilly breeze off the lake. I don't live that far from the lake. And you get that October breeze, that October feeling. When you wake up, you don't get that in many places. And I'm telling you, you couple that with Cubs baseball, that feeling, the leaves are starting to change on the trees. I went golfing today, and it was just beautiful looking at all the leaves, all this different type of stuff. October baseball is just different here. A lot of places can't say that. I've lived in New York. I went to school out on the East Coast. Like, I've seen it. I've seen it out there. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's just different here. And I wish we could have fans in the stands at Wrigley Field. I really do. But just don't forget that postseason baseball here. Hopefully it's just 2 games that we see against the Marlins here at Wrigley Field. It's just going to be different. It's just going to have a different vibe in the air, even with no fans in the stands. It's like Mother Nature knows that the Cubs are playing baseball here in Chicago in October, and it just smells different. It feels different. It's just a lot more electric. There's a lot more morale.
Nature is healing. The Cubs are back in the playoffs. So
true.
Make sure to follow Dom on Twitter and Instagram at Dom_Frederic. Fred, we can't thank you enough, man. You've come on here so many times. It was great to have you. I would always say Cubs in 4, but I think it's going to be Cubs in 2 for this week. And then we can move.
Cubs in 2. Cubs in 2 with the Cubs in 4 mentality. I don't care who we play. Doesn't mean, but I'll say it again, man. They're going to be good games. The Marlins are coming in. They've earned that playoff spot. They're coming in here. I'm not putting anything. I'm not disrespecting the Marlins at all. I'm just excited to watch this team play. I'm excited to watch postseason baseball, and I'm excited to be here in Chicago in October with Cubs baseball happening. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me again. It's always the best to be on here. You guys are the best.
Thank you. And also, I got my bad news shirt on. Go over to the Morale store and check all that out.
Zach, I tried to send you guys stuff that one time, and I don't know what happened to the shipment. I got to send you guys some stuff, honestly, for all the times you've let me come onto your podcast.
We love it. We love it every time. Like I said, playoffs start. I think it was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So let's go Cubs in 2.
Wednesday. Cubs in 2. There we go. I don't care who we play.
Thank you, Don, for coming on.
Always coming on, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.